Thank you. Poe was about to make me mad.
It would be funny, though.
We could just do a 3v1, you know.
Yeah.
Josh's Ike is just that crazy.
Yeah, just have Nair cover all his options at this point.
Yeah.
Just be careful when they shield.
Yeah. Here we go.
Starting on FT, presumably.
Yeah. It's a good stage for Peach. I know that. Pac-Man, I think, likes the stage a lot, too. So it's going to be interesting to see how they sort of can utilize it. And once again, I think it's one of those things where it's like, I don't think anybody on the screen right now has a particularly bad time on this stage.
Yeah.
And so now it just comes down to this sort of individual skill and being able to utilize it to its full potential, you know. Nice grab there. Ooh, he was down smash. Nice recovery though from Josh, but I wonder if we'll see like beautiful back air.
Yeah,
but I do wonder like if we'll see at some point the fire hydrant getting in his way, like, you know, because I feel like the water could potentially be a hazard for Josh when he tries to recover.
Yeah. Especially with up B.
Yeah.
I wouldn't see it so much with side B just because he could just snap the ledge.
Right.
And easy, no problem.
Yeah, I think that Poet though like knows sort of how that dynamic works, and I think he'll be aware of that. Good parry though from ScaryGoRound there, getting F smash and taking out Josh. His parries have been amazing so far, ScaryGoRound. I just saw like 2 or 3 in a row.
I always like how doubles is this like parry fest of some sort.
For sure.
There it is again.
He coming out from nowhere.
He can parry the moves, but what about projectiles?
Yeah, it's a lot harder, especially the key is so fast.
Yeah, key is unbelievably fast.
Beautiful, beautiful team combo there with the side B into the back air, I think it was from ScaryGoRound. But yeah, that's a very brutal sword coming out of Ike there.
The bread and butter, as we like to call it.
Brutal swing. Nice conversion there from ScaryGoRound, though. And I think that's good to know, like you saw there is the pocket from Isabel, you know, all the projectiles that Pac-Man wants to throw out can be sort of curbed by that tool. But it's looking pretty good for Josh and Poet right now. A pretty significant lead. And that's going to be,
I was about to say Fire Hydrant just saved him right there, but...
Yeah. I forgot Peach has a counter, like straight up, because nobody really tends to use it. But she finally pulls it out there.
It's a counter that has like fixed knockback to some degree.
Gotcha. Yeah, so but that does take the stock off of Josh.
Yeah.
Starts to even things out a little bit. It's not. It's definitely not out of reach for Saj and ScaryGoRound, but they are sort of chasing the game. Definitely got to take out Poet sooner than later. Good tech there from the Poet. He got hit out of the Void Rocket by ScaryGoRound.
Probably not good in ScaryGoRound's favor.
Yeah. Oh, and the F smash taking out Saj. And now a very tough task ahead of ScaryGoRound here. Not undoable, but it's going to be hard. Definitely needs to take out Poet sooner than later, though. Scary situation here. Does not want to overcommit to anything. Back there, but not really getting the combo off of it.
You know, now that I think about it...
He killed him. Okay.
Now that I think about it, Pac-Man and Ike actually they compensate each other really nicely.
Yeah.
In a sense, if Hydrant gets thrown and Ike's in danger, he can just throw out his disjoint and not have to worry about it.
Right, we saw that there where he dropped the Hydrant and he just up-aired it and it was fine. Yeah, good game one there from Josh and Poet. Looked really, really solid there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ricky had the opportunity to pocket that key, but didn't quite get it out in time. It's such a hard thing to react to, especially like when you're in that 2v1 situation and you're under so much pressure trying to like
and the awareness you have to keep aware of as well of the other person as well in that situation.
Isabel.
looks like everyone's more or less staying with the same character. Wait. I thought Saj might travel over to Bayonetta Town, but he's actually going to go Daisy. He's one of those players who goes for the echo counter pick between Peach and Daisy. So we begin on PS2 now. I think this is the first time we've seen it actually so far, ironically. We'll see how it plays out for both sides here. I think it's another one of those neutral things. So.
ScaryGoRound just going at it on Poet right now.
Yeah, I mean it's always nice to have the teammate who's just sort of a crackhead who just will go in, you know, just pile on that percentage. But obviously, you don't want to be too risky with it because losing stocks can be rough.
I think Josh and Poet are finally starting to fix their positioning issue.
Yeah.
Just a tiny bit.
I did not know you could pocket the water. I guess it makes sense, but I just never really thought about it. Yeah. That's actually kind of big, because if Josh is recovering with his up B there, and Ricky throws out the water from the hydrant, I could just kill him at 0.
Yeah, so remember how that comment I said earlier about how Ike and Pac-Man can complement each other so nicely?
Yeah.
Isabel's a counter to that.
Yeah, no, Isabel's doing a really good job of just sort of messing with everything they're trying to do. It's a definitely good asset to have. Huh. That was a strange interaction.
Very strange.
I thought he countered it, and then he got launched, and I was like, oh, maybe not.
I'm guessing because since it's still a projectile,
yeah,
the fact that it was hitting back on Poet's or maybe Josh's end might have hit Saj regardless.
I think we've been seeing a nice up smash there. That will actually take the stock. And Poet's actually on his last stock now, and I just realized, I just looked down at the stock count. Before I started speaking with my big fat mouth, Ricky was actually still on his first stock.
Yeah.
It's actually looking really good for Saj ScaryGoRound right now.
They seem to be powering up right now.
Yeah, I think we've been seeing ScaryGoRound pull out the pocket a lot more, which has been a huge help as well, because that's just kind of doing a good job of dealing with all the stuff that Pac-Man's throwing out.
Honestly, I still have faith in the nice build guys, so we'll hopefully to come out on top of this.
Yeah, no, it's definitely not out of reach at all. I mean, Poet being on his last stock doesn't really mean anything when he's that good, you know? Oh, that F smash was brutal, and suddenly ScaryGoRound on his last stock, and so is Saj, and it's been completely turned around here by Josh and Poet, and Saj just took a ride on the fair train. Not quite going to lose the stock for it, though. Down there. Oh, taking the hydrant into his own hands here. He's just walling him out so hard with the forward airs. He's so frustrating to get through. That bell. I gotta say, it could be huge if ScaryGoRound could just snatch that bell from Poet. Getting that back throw, but not really getting a lot out of it. There is the bell in the up smash, though. A lot of percent on both Ricky and Saj here. And that F smash gonna take out ScaryGoRound. Now Saj has to play the 2v1.
Oh, I'm actually surprised they turned that around.
Yeah, Poet was on his last stock for a hot minute and didn't really get particularly close to losing it. Like he made it to like maybe 145, I think it said. Yeah. But he didn't really look like he was in a whole lot of danger at any point, you know?
Yeah, I was so focused on watching Josh and seeing what he was doing. Yeah. Because I saw the fantastic strings he was doing on Peach.
Right. No, yeah, he was kind of beating her up. We might have to open a case about that, but I mean...
a little memorized by that sword play right there.
Yeah.
To say the least.
Yeah, no, he's doing. I mean, and Ike is such a heavy hitter, you know, like he racks up so much damage, and like the knockback, the sheer knockback that he can throw out, you know, is devastating sometimes. So like, it can be scary when you're not like playing with like the sort of patience that you need to against a character like that. Just lose your stocks so early. back to PS2. I think this stage worked pretty well for Saj and ScaryGoRound for at least a minute. And then Poet and Josh just made such a solid comeback. We'll see if they can keep that momentum going into this third game, though. Potentially get a 3-0.
I like how ScaryGoRound's parries have been more consistent.
Yeah. He definitely knows his timing.
Yeah. It's always good to know the timing of when your character lets go of shield, depending on the hitbox.
And that's a good thing. That's a pretty big thing for like swords in general, like fighting them.
Yeah.
It's like if you know when to parry them, you can get a lot out of it. Depending on like what move and how safe it is. It is frustrating though because like sometimes you'll get a parry and then you'll be like, all right, time to punish, and then you just still don't get the punish, and you're like, okay, well, what was the point of parrying?
Yeah. I feel parrying is very niche compared to perfect shielding.
Yeah,
from previous games. Like, it does have its uses, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I still think it's probably a very wonderful addition to this game, but I feel if anything, the punish window should be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I think that would be the biggest fix for it, pretty much. Oh, I grabbed the wrong line.
Because the problem with the small time frame window of like, I guess it's like 3 additional frames while the opponent's slowed down for like 12. It's more along the lines of if the opponent is back in a position consistently, you would just be pulling off the same option.
Yeah.
And like sometimes parries are kind of useless when it comes to multi-hit moves as well.
Oh, for sure. You know, we saw earlier the Byleth up smash that Xion was parrying. And he was like, oh, I parried 2 hits, but there's just so many. Like, how do you... It's hard to keep that consistency, you know? Another nair up air from Josh there.
Oh, getting the key in to that first stock right there. Literally.
Yeah. But once again, though, looking very good for Josh and Poet. Like, I genuinely think we could see a 3-0 here. Sachi does make it back there, but he's at 136 right now. Nobody is immune to dying early here. Oh, double whammy there with the Hydrant. Actually didn't take out Saj, though, but hitting both of them. Saturn!
Oh, here comes
here.
The shield pressure. Reverse back on. Josh wanted to play it safe, and I don't blame him. Sometimes it's not better to keep Saturn on the field.
Perhaps.
Because, like, yeah, you could definitely take advantage of it, but at the same time, you're playing with 4 people at this point.
Yeah.
What if you might accidentally break your teammate's shield right there?
That's definitely true. I'm just a big fan of Mr. Saturn, so seeing him thrown off into the depths of hell makes me sad. Scary for Josh, but just about living. Able to make it back as well, especially with Hydrant getting pocketed there. Comes down, not quite going to take out the stock. Last stocks here for Saj and ScaryGoRound here. And Josh still on his second, but yeah, the second I said that, the fishing pole got him. I figured it would. So last stocks for everybody now, and Poet's actually fairly high, so it's not out of the question for Saj and ScaryGoRound to take this game forward.
I can see Poet turning this around.
Oh, for sure. I mean, he lived to like 145 the last game. Stayed on his last stock for a hot minute, so wouldn't be surprised if he does the same thing here. This is scary. Another pocket with the Hydrant there. It's looking pretty good though for Saj and ScaryGoRound. If they just don't overcommit to anything, I think this game could go in their favor. And there goes Josh. And the 2v1 now having to be played by Poet. Just about living that ScaryGoRound. That key was almost in for him.
The Hydrant really negating Isabel's down B right there.
Yeah. Oh, that left smash. This could actually go in Poet's favor if he doesn't overcommit to anything. If he plays this safe enough, he could just take this.
I can honestly see him do it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially now that he's got the bell on deck. Just needs to avoid that dot ice. Just about staying alive there. A little bit of an unsafe option. The super armor on side B, able to make it through. The apple, I don't actually know how strong the apple is, but...
it does kill relatively early.
The cherry is the one that doesn't kill, right? Or is that the strawberry?
I think it's I think it's Strawberry. I don't see that kill a lot.
Yeah.
Apple, on the other hand, you want to watch out for because that will definitely send you to the doctor afterwards.
Yeah, that was a risky grab, by the way. Just about living.
Yeah.
A scary Nair, too. It's so tense right now here. I mean, you're at 195 last stock.
Oh
Sour
my
spot
God.
back air from Saj. And now the Poet has the turnip. And the grenade. That's a lot of coverage. That's very scary. The clank there. The up air just about doing it as the hydrant came out. And you see Saj widening his eyes there a little bit. He's like, he knew how close that was. But he did manage to take it in the end. Now 2-1, and I wonder, could we see the reverse 3-0?
Yeah, we've been seeing that a lot. Well, in the last match, not a lot in that sense, but
Such a crazy ending to that game. Like, honestly, would not have expected Poet to keep it that close. Like, I know obviously he's capable of a lot, you know, but keeping it that close takes a lot of mental fortitude, you know, and just about losing out in the end. But I mean, just the way he played that was super, super solid. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to say that there's a lot of motivation. Or not motivation, momentum for Saj and ScaryGoRound. Because yes, they did win that game, but it was so close that you're like, you don't have the same rush that you would have if you like 3-stocked them, you know?
yeah, and Poet's comeback factor is really insane.
Yeah, and that's we just saw that there. I mean, like he was
Yeah,
one
like
hit away from taking him out there, you know?
He handled that 1v2, and I could understand the pressure he must have been in that situation.
It's such a scary situation, especially like with the percent he was at, like 200 by the end of the game. You know, it's like the slightest hit can kill you, and that's such a scary situation to be in. Especially against a player like Saj, super solid Peach, you know. Taking a minute, hot minute to think about the stage here, but going back to FD actually.
Yeah, I honestly was expecting them to sort of move out of PS2. Just don't know which stage. Because they probably realized like, oh, we could probably win this, but at the same time, I guess you could say they were out of limited options right there, and it's just better to just have Pac-Man do his thing without platforms per se.
Yeah.
Because FD, a lot of people have been debating it's a good counter pick considering the low ceiling height on it that it currently has. And for Ike, that's not really that much of a huge issue when it comes to killing because he does not need platforms in this scenario.
Right, and his up air is going to kill you so early. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good comfort pick for especially Saj. Like, this is a great stage for Peach, you know. And he was doing a lot of the work not a lot of the work per se, but he was doing a lot of work in that last game. And so having him, being able to play on this stage and sort of be in his comfort zone could be a big difference here. Starting off pretty well, too. Oh, beautiful team combo there, though. And that will destroy ScaryGoRound's first stock.
Always love to see that up smash perfectly spaced well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like just those team combos in general. Like when you space something like that so perfectly to where like you and your teammate are in sync like that, it's so nice to see.
Now, if only if I could do that with my teammate without messing up things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You try and do it, you just kill them instead, and you're like, ah, dang.
Yeah. Looks like we got some chanting going on over at the Rivals section.
Yes, the Rivals chants.
Yeah.
Really nice to see that we're growing such a nice rival scene out here in Jacksonville, and Aaron.
I mean, we could get a rival scene in Gainesville as well. It's just
it's a matter of time, really. Like when do you do it? You know, so with so many people being like in college or whatever. It's hard to find the time for things like that.
I'm guessing Josh was trying to snap back to ledge with that up B.
He did. I think that was rough.
Yeah.
He was at a fairly high percent though, so he's probably fine. But I mean, you see ScaryGoRound on his last stock already, and at 100%, and he's dead. So he takes the stock from Saj, but I mean, they've got a little bit of a mountain to climb here with both Poet and Saturn's back. Don't kill him this time, please. All right. My attention is now 100% focused on Mr. Saturn, he's in the pocket. That's fine. I thought he broke his shield. He didn't, though. Actually, that could
probably
make
would have been
such
the
a
best
huge
option.
difference.
That would probably have been the best option to just take the hit right there, but
No! He died again. I was gonna say though, if Saturn stayed on the stage, like getting a shield break could be such a huge difference in the set. But
now this is starting to look even, but knowing the percentage lead that both Josh and Poe would have.
I mean, these aren't exactly heavy characters that Saj and ScaryGoRound are playing, so they're not immune to dying early like that. The bell into up smash takes out Saj, and now ScaryGoRound at 107 has to do the 2v1. And it's no simple task. Nice pocket on the hydrant, though. Oh, he got hit by Bell. He's fine, though, for now. Still
that was a really good mix-up right there on Josh. Not Josh, Poet's end.
Yeah, but that is it. Poet and Josh do take the set 3-1 in the end. And I think that game was kind of in their favor the whole time, really. I think they had a pretty solid lead. There was never really a point where you thought that they weren't going to take that.
Yeah.
And so they move into losers finals now, guaranteed at least third against Wonder Bread and Shion from Gainesville. So that's a Gainesville Civil War